Yo, what is going on, guys? We just got the new patch for Mortal Kombat 1. Now, I'm going to go over with this patch with you. Now, they call it a hotfix. Now, I want to get into that a little bit later, but they do call it a hotfix, right? Let's just go over this. So, I have a lot of thoughts about this patch, man. A lot. So, let's just go over it, and then I'll give you my thoughts. So, they called a June hotfix, right? It's called a hotfix, not a patch. They were very specific with the hotfix. So I do think there's going to be a bigger patch coming later, obviously. Probably post Evo, probably right around Takeda's, launch coming out next month. So obviously they added some new graphic settings. That was on PC whenever they were locked at 30 FPS within the menus. Blah, blah, blah. We don't really need to go over this. Let's general fixes. So they fixed desyncs and they adjusted the camera. Basically, what was going on there is there was a lot of issues whenever Homelander would fly or grab you. It would go too high and it would like mess the screen up a little bit. But let's get into the real juicy stuff. So here, reptile. So we do have confirmation now that the reptile issue with his damage was a mistake. So they fixed his scaling on his force ball, which is good. That's a good change right there. That's a great change. But my issue comes with right here, man. Right here. What is this? What is this? Human torpedo and enhanced human torpedo is now a high. I can't express this enough that literally does nothing. That is not really a beneficial nerf for Peacemaker. It does nothing. Most of the cast isn't going to be able to punish that anyways. They're not going to be able to punish that anyways. Because he's going to fly right over top of you. That's not even the biggest issue, though. The biggest issue is the fact that even when he flies over top of you, everyone's just going to have a cameo called in behind him to keep it safe anyways. So that's not the way they should have changed that. They should not have nerfed it like that. What they needed to do, if they wanted to nerf the torpedo, is make it slower. Make it slower. It's literally one of the fastest specials within the game that goes full screen. Make it slower. Make it have less range. That's how you nerf moves. Making it a high doesn't do anything with you when you have cameos in the game. Because people are just going to cover it with the cameo and then nothing's going to happen. You're just going to get hit with their cameo, right? Now this next thing. I'm always against this right here. Nerfing characters' health. That is so... It's just... for lack of better... It's dumb. It's dumb. Like, it's just a dumb nerf. It's a dumb nerf. They didn't fix it. Like, here's the thing. You still have to deal with all the BS that comes with the character, right? So they didn't nerf any of the BS things. They didn't nerf the force field. They didn't nerf the eagly. They didn't nerf, the damage he's getting with certain cameos. They just take his health. So you're still having to deal with the BS. He just has less health now. That's never a substantial nerf, right? So they really dropped the ball with the Peacemaker nerfs. They really did. They really did. I don't know if this is obviously... Here's the thing. I hold out hope that they may be not wanting to nerf the characters, pre-Evo, because Evo is right around the corner. Just literally within a few weeks, Evo is coming up. So I'm hoping that they that's the issue, right? Because if this is all they're going to do right here, that's egregious. That's egregious. So let's move on. So they fixed everything with Homelander. Now, I was playing a little bit earlier. There's still some things going on with the character that need to be addressed, such as his air flight 2 on block is still not even punishable. You can still hit directly after it. This character is actually really messed up still. But they did fix it to where like he actually has to use meter for a lot of his combos now. So that's actually good. But the character is still a little bit buggy. So they're going to have to go back in there and look at that as well. Now, this is the main thing I wanted to talk about here. The cameo nerfs. So if you look here, they reverted Cyrax against everyone, outside of a few people, of course, did not want this reverted. They wanted this to stay the same. It felt good. It was refreshing to have a new cameo be top tier along the other top tier well-used cameos like Chameleon, like Kung Lao. So it felt great, man. I don't know why they still decided to revert it back to what it was, man, because now Cyrax is never going to be used outside of, maybe with Kenshi, right? Kenshi is still pretty good with Cyrax, but excuse me. Kenshi is still really good with Cyrax. But I just don't see the thought process behind that, especially when everyone unanimously pretty much was saying, yeah, we like this change. This is actually a great change. Keep it here, because it was not as egregious as before. It was not as bad as it was before earlier on in the game, back when he was doing, 50% damage combos across the board. It's not that bad anymore. It's not that bad. It's really not. But this is the big one. This is the biggest one I wanted to talk about today. Chameleon. Reduce pushback on block of the first 2 hits of roll, and slightly reduce the pushback on block of the last hit. This is good. This is great right here. This is great. This is what we needed right here. This is perfect. Perfect nerf right here. But where's the fan lift nerf? Where's the fan lift nerf? That's literally the biggest issue Chameleon has, is fan lift is literally invincible sometimes. You will down 2 someone and they will just fan lift right out of it as if they weren't hit at all. I don't understand this. And again, you look here, just reduce base health. That's just, to me, guys, like, I'm the biggest Mortal Kombat supporter out there. I'm the biggest NetherRealm supporter out there. I'll always support them. But this hotfix was terrible. This hotfix was absolutely terrible. And then they go on to nerf johnnycage, which I'm not too sure about that. I know that she was doing a lot of damage with certain characters, but I don't know about nerfing the damage. I don't know. I'm pretty just in the middle on that one. Like, I don't really care about the Janet nerf, to be honest. Could she have used a little bit of nerf? Maybe. If not, whatever. It's not the biggest deal. But the Chameleon nerf, man, they dropped the ball here. And I'm holding out hope. I really am holding out hope that the issue is that Evo is around the corner, right? They have a bigger, better balance patch coming with more nerfs. But where's the buffs too, man? Like I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's obvious. I feel like the changes that need to happen are pretty obvious. Chameleon, what needed to change? The pushback on ball roll, that needed change. The invincibility on fan lift, that needed changed. That's all. That's really it. That's all. Like, you didn't have to take health. You just needed to change those 2 things. And again, the biggest thing in this game, the biggest problem in this game right now, the biggest problem is armor into Cameo. Armor into Cameo is this game's biggest issue. It literally ruins some of the most fundamental basics of fighting games, in my opinion. Because you're able to not only have, up to 5 hits of armor with Ashrah, but then you're going to be able to keep it safe with the Cameo. And that's just, that just shouldn't happen, right? So in a perfect patch, they literally just take away Cameo after armor. That needs to go. That needs to go. And I know a lot of people will bring up the argument, Diddle, but what about Kung Lao? He literally relies on that. I agree with you. They need to completely rehaul Kung Lao's base kit. You shouldn't have to rely on armored launchers or armor into safety. You shouldn't have to rely on that. That's just a bad design. But I really think they dropped the ball with this patch, man. I really did. Or hot fix. Let me reiterate that. Hot fix, because again, it's not an official patch. So I still have hope. I do have hope. But man, we wanted more. Obviously, we wanted more. I'm trying not to be selfish. I'm trying not to be, like a Debbie Downer. But man, it sucks whenever the things we didn't want changed got reverted, like Cyrax, and the things we wanted changed barely got a slap on the wrist. So I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of annoying. I think they did drop the ball with this patch a little bit, but I do obviously have hope that they'll turn it around. I do think that there'll be a bigger and better balance patch coming in the near future. Obviously, don't know when. It will probably be with the Takeda and Farah tour release, or I'm sorry, just Farah. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, what you guys think of this patch. Do you guys like it? Do you dislike it? I know some people were thinking it was great, so, I mean, let me know what you guys think, man. We'll catch you in the next video, baby. Later.